Detroiters episode 7, Smilin Jack. This is a pretty funny episode, like especially when they're actually filming the commercial. That was oddly enough my favorite part. So we got like two hilarious commercials in this episode, which was really cool. But this episode was kind of special because we had Keegan-Michael Key, who of course is from Key and Peele. He's actually from Detroit, for people who may not have known that. So I thought it was really cool that they actually had him in this episode because he is from the city. So I was like, that's pretty awesome that he showed up in this episode because he's from Detroit. So, they go around the city. I knew where they were when they were filming, like the place where they were in the restaurant. When they showed, there's a certain angle that they showed. I knew what building they were at. They were actually downtown, like right near Cobo Hall. They were at the Crown Plaza Hotel. I never knew there was a restaurant in there before, so it kind of made me want to go there because I saw, I forgot what the heck that building actually is. It's got the eagle on it. It's like the American something. I believe it's for veterans or something like that. I never really paid attention to what that building is. But it has very blue glass. So when I saw it across the street, I was like, where the heck are they at? Like, what? Like, I know what building that is. I was like, I never knew there was a restaurant. And I was like, oh, yeah, the hotel. So it was one of the restaurant hotels. So it was cool to, just because I know the city. It was like, oh, I know exactly where they are. So that I picked up on. Like I said, the commercials were funny in this one. I think that's what got me the most this time around. Because I didn't think we were actually getting a commercial. Because, of course, it kind of starts off where the couple is like, guys, we got to let you go. We have to prioritize our finances. And I was like, okay, so that, they end up losing a fairly important client. Well, any client is important to have when you're trying to make money. But they end up losing a client that they've been familiar with for quite some time. And I don't know what the deal was with Sam and the wife. Like, it was really odd how they were like, they hugged for a long time, and then at the very end of the episode, they end up holding hands when they're at the comedy show. I'm like, what is the deal with them like hugging for such a long time? Like, they have like an odd amount of contact, and I was like, this is really weird. Like, why are they doing that? So, of course they end up losing the clients. It's like, well, we lost them. Let's try to get Smilin Jack, who has all the posters, all the billboards all over the place, where people just put farts and penises because his mouth is open the whole time. My favorite being the penis on the People Mover, which is like the little above ground train that we have downtown. That was probably my favorite one because it was just the whole thing and it was just going towards the billboard. So that made me laugh a lot. But them filming the commercial and him screaming at the freaking dude in the ape suit was just so funny to me. Especially, I think it was the very last one where he freaked out and then he looked over and he looked down and he looked all the way back up and then he screamed in his face, and I was like, that just didn't even make sense. It was so funny to me watching him scream so much. But that was probably my favorite part of the whole episode. I watched that a couple of times. But the actual other commercial for the older couple, for the babies and preteens furniture, which is very specific and very odd to me. The commercial that they had there was so funny, where the kid, they have the preteen, and then they go over to the babes, and then so they cut back, or they do like they do a full wide shot, and the kid's just got a boner looking over at the girl in the bikini, and it just made me laugh so hard. I was like, wow, I can't believe. I thought that was supposed to be that they betrayed them and they went to a different company to do a commercial, and then Sam was like, wow, we shot that in one go, and I was like, they let that slide in that commercial, this kid having a boner. So that was just so funny to me seeing that happen. So those two parts made me laugh the most in this episode, but it was just really funny. It was really good. The comedian in this episode, Donuts, he was funny too, especially when it got to the end and how he was making so much fun of Tim. That actually had me laughing too, especially when it got to like the very end, like where he just looks at him, he's like, thank you, and then he goes has a, like sees the guy like a small dick and stuff, and for whatever reason Sam was just like losing his effing mind. He was like nudging him and stuff. He's like laughing so hard his legs weren't even on the ground. He's like leaning back and nudging him, and then that made me laugh too. So I really enjoyed this episode. It had a bunch of different parts that just had me cracking up, but really good one. I think that they did a good job for this on this one for sure, as far as just the commercial element, because we got to see one being filmed that never even finished because he couldn't. It was just crazy. I mean, the dude in the ape suit, it was just funny. So we got to see that, which was really good. And like I said, the commercial that they actually did have that was completed was also pretty funny. So most of it was just hilarious to me. Like this one, I think made me laugh the most in just the different segments, but it was pretty funny. And especially the part in the beginning when they first do lose the old clients and Tim is being super mad at him and stuff, and that's what he was doing like the whole episode. But in the first part, he's like, fine, whatever, and then he leaned in super close and was like, please don't do this to us. Like, please reconsider. He's like, we've made up our minds. Like, good, okay. And then he leans back and he's like, fine, whatever. Like, he didn't care. I love that he was acting that way through the whole episode. And, like, when they see the bunk bed, which was a really bad idea. Like, they mentioned, like, oh, it seems great, like a 30-foot bunk bed until it's done. And then it's like, oh, that looks like crap. It's just a big wooden bunk bed. I don't know why I thought it would be metal. I don't know. I thought that made more sense because it would look cooler. But it was just like, oh, it was like a tree house. It was like a crappy tree house is what it looked like, especially with nothing on it. And like, yeah, we were gonna get like the preteens, sorry. And the one boy, they're gonna have a pump for him jerking off, and she's like, you know, it's not a sexual thing with his sister. It's just that he's a growing young boy. I'm like, that is very interesting that they had her say that stuff. I'm like, that's a just weird concept. Why would she do that? I just don't understand what's happening here. Like, she was going through that whole explanation. I'm just like, this is weird. Like, what is happening with this explanation? Like, why, you know, have a inflatable preteen masturbating on a 30-foot bunk bed, and I guess the sister sleeping in one of the other beds. It's like, you know, it's not a sexual thing. It's just that he's a growing young boy and he just has no other place to go. I'm just like, this is weird. This is real weird. This is a very odd concept. Going from the 30-foot bunk bed, which that in itself simple enough, just a real big bed. It did look tiny, you know, once you see it on top of the top of the building. But, you know, like, that's a simple concept, just a really big bed. People see that, it's like, hey, there's that. It's like when they have the giant gorillas at car dealerships. You can see them from pretty far away. Makes sense. A simple thing to catch your eye. And then you got, like, a little jerkin preteen and his sister. That's weird. But enjoyed the episode for sure. Would love to know what made you guys laugh the most in this episode, so please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts about this one, your least favorite parts about it. Next week's episode is the Dream Cruise episode, which I'm really looking forward to. I don't know. I just really don't know how that one's going to play out. Like, what are they going to do? I would assume, like I said, hopefully it just makes sense, because it would be really hard to fake the Dream Cruise, because you'd have to have a ton of cars coming through. So I do assume that they actually filmed at the Dream Cruise, which would be pretty cool, but I'm just curious what they're gonna do with that. Like, is it supposed to be? Are we gonna have a commercial for this one, or is it just gonna be about the city in next week's episode? Hard to say, but either way, I'm really looking forward to it. I actually missed last year's Dream Cruise, which really sucked. I wanted to go, but I didn't end up getting to see it. So maybe I'll have like a little, you know, super late experience getting to see the Dream Cruise. But definitely want to know what you guys thought about this episode. So please put your comments down in the comment section below, and of course, thanks for watching.